Hello and welcome to my channel. Today we are back on GTA 5 Online. Today, or maybe yesterday when this video gets released, the first ever Principe car has been released. Yes, we've got our DLC, the last ever tunables update for this Arena Wars DLC. I'm actually quite surprised they haven't prolonged this drip feed. Generally they prolong these things to go on forever, but they haven't actually this time. It was only not that long ago the DLC came out. But turning to this car, it costs $1.795 million, which to be honest is not too bad actually. To be fair, I was actually expecting this thing to be more, maybe in the 2 million mark, where the XA21 and the X80 Proto and that kind of thing is. It kind of looks like that kind of type of vehicle, but it's quite cheap, surprisingly. Well, I say it's cheap, it's quite a lot of money, but it's cheap in comparison to the crazy ass supercars we got in this game. Yeah, so it's the first ever Principe DLC car in the game, which is quite a surprise actually. In real life, this thing's based off the Deville 16, some concept crazy thing in real life. I bought it already. Let's go and take a look at it in the flesh. Go to first person, and there it is. Definitely an ugly looking thing, definitely to say the least. It's got these ginormous jet engine sort of things on the back here. And around the front, it's got a very, very small front. It's the wrong way round, really. Supercars ideally have long noses and short backs, but this is the complete opposite. Yeah, it's got a more of a Visione kind of approach to the front, I feel. But yeah, it's definitely a very futuristic looking thing. Let's go and see what it sounds like. Startup sounds like any other car in this game. Not particularly interesting or unique. Interior is just the XA21 interior. Again, not XA21, the X80 Proto interior, which is just being reused again, which is same as the Wagner's interior, same as the SC1's interior. Yeah, not very unique. Let's take a look at the customization of this thing then. So we go down to bumpers. Yeah, not exactly a lot for front bumpers. In real life, this thing has like a primary thing down here, so we put that there. Rear, we've got diffusers. Wow, the customization seems to be a little bit lame, but then I'm not really that surprised. I was expecting there not to be a drastic customization on this in comparison to some other muscle cars and things. Well, this bit's quite new though. It's a teeny little thing that doesn't seem to make any difference whatsoever. But I think I'll just have that in primary just to smooth it out a little bit. Engine, nothing to do there. Exhausts. Ah, that's where the exhausts are, hidden in there. So we just put our foot down slightly. We can just have a look at the exhausts. We barely even see them, to be honest. Best thing to do is probably have the chrome stubby ones so you can actually see them. Livery wise, let's take a look at this. Whoa, that's a definitely unusual looking interior. Livery, I mean. No idea what that means. Wow, definitely got some interesting liveries on there. Definitely rather different. He's got like this gold style liveries. He's got this golden approach to it. I don't know. It's definitely seems a lot different than normal. I'm not quite sure what to go for. I don't know whether to go for a livery or just not, or have it plain. I just have it plain. Have it plain. Respray, metallic. I definitely want to put it in a more silvery graphite kind of colour. Is that it, Ron?
Whatever you desire. Technology and budget permitting.
Yeah, black still seems good enough. What's different here then? Oh, the door mirrors. We'll leave them as it is. Trim colour. Ah, we can still change the trim colour, which is kind of unsurprising because you can do that in the XA21 and the Wagner anyway. I think this time I might go a bit different. Maybe red. Like a darkish red. Yeah, that'll do. Go for some red, something a little bit different. Spoilers. Let's scroll down here. We've got quite a few spoilers. I suppose a bit more spoilers than any other customization. That's a Huayra BC spoiler, Pagani Huayra BC. That I think is the more realistic spoiler. I'm just looking at a picture of one now. I've never heard of one of these things before,
How many
but I
cars
think
you
this
got
is
in
the
this
more
garage
realistic
again?
spoiler out of the lot. So I think we'll go for that one.
Girl is looking good.
Suspension. I was going to say, I don't think you can lower it that much. Transmission, blah, blah, blah. Wheels. I'd actually keep the wheels as they are, to be honest. It's a shame we can't put them in black, though. That'd be really cool if we can put them in black. So there we go. There is the Deveste 8. First ever Principe car in the game. Let's exit it around and have a drive around in this thing. Well, first impressions is a hideous car from the back, definitely looking at this camera angle, it's horrible. And it seems a bit too low, because even if it's in standard suspension, they see the back splitters going through the ground. It seems to be going faster than the game can load. Didn't think it was going that fast. Although, actually, in terms of acceleration, it feels really, really, really quick. Kind of pointless really looking at the speedometers and stuff, because they can be a little bit inaccurate at times. Whoa. The grip is actually really, really good. The generalistic grip is actually really, really good, but the front end steering is terrible. It's got a really, really bad understeer physics going on here. Oversteer doesn't seem to suffer much in terms of oversteer while just driving around in town. But it feels very, very quick. So quick, in fact, that I keep smashing it up. Let's just go on to my racetrack. I think that might help. But these morons driving around are just getting in the way. Stunt races, my test track there. So actually it feels like a very, 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 very quick car. In terms of acceleration, the grip is very good as well, considering it's a standard car. Super, I think it's super anyway, I can't imagine it being anything else. So around the price range, let's just drive it first of all and set ourselves a lap time. Just to set the benchmark and see what else can beat it or not. Brilliant. Whoa, it doesn't. Again, it's another car that doesn't like bumps. A lot of cars in this DLC don't like bumps. If you go over the curb, it seems to make it like the handling just disintegrate. The front end grip at high speeds is not brilliant. It's the understeer that's the problem. But the generalistic grip is brilliant. Like trying to go around a corner is the back end doesn't go out at all. It's really, really precise. Yeah, as I say that. I think I was going a bit too fast. I think what I'll do, I'll restart there maybe. Damn it, I can't drive in this game today. Probably my fault for playing Forza too much. Even though I messed up a lot of times, the 1 minute 12 seconds is a pretty quick time. We'll just try that again, just in case, because that is a little bit rubbish. The way I crashed into them bins and I crashed into the tire wall there. Not brilliant. Oh, it'd be so nice if you could skip all this crap. You can in Forza when you finish a race, you can just skip all the celebrational cutscenes and all that. But unfortunately in this, that's not the case. You have to sit there and watch your character just dance all the time. Or watch your opponents dance. Annoying. Ah, the loading time's one of the killers of this game. So we go back to Super again. We'll give it a go. It definitely feels like more of a drag car, but then the handling is just absolutely brilliant. It's just the front end grip, it just really, really fails on. It's just I need to understeer too much. I don't like the looks of this car. It's a bit of a shame because it's such a fast car. Let's go. Yeah, that understeer is a killer for this car. An absolute killer. But the grip is just brilliant. I think that's maybe what the problem... No, it's got too little grip at the front, which is causing the understeer. The brakes aren't brilliant either, to be honest. Oh, nearly crashed there again. It's because of this front end grip, it just keeps losing its steering. I kind of lost its back end there because I went over there's a slight bump there. Even though I crashed, I only saved myself 3 seconds, which is not a lot really. I was expecting to like devastate that last time, but I suppose it's a little bit more accurate. So then similar types of cars would be the XA21 perhaps in terms of the value. I know that's about 2.2 million from my memory, so it's quite a lot more expensive. The X80 Proto is probably a bit more of a likely culprit for testing against maybe even the Tyrus or the ETR1. To be honest, I would have said in terms of its value, it's actually pretty good value for it compared to its competitors, like the XA21 and the Tyrus, the RE7B, all that sort of stuff. I think it's actually a very decent car. Yes, I do. I don't want anyone else ruining it. Right, so let's just take a look at what the competition is. Some of these are old cars from the start of the game, which are not particularly brilliant. Others are just brand new cars that are really, really expensive. So let's just have a quick browse of what we've got here. So it has actually got quite a lot of competition, really. So I think what we should do is put it up against the X80 Proto, as it's a similar type of car, and then see what that's like. And of course, this is like $1 million more expensive, near enough. So let's just test out the Deveste 8's value for money. So this one's a bit more controlled, I would have said. The way you can use the back end looseness to control it around the corners. The brakes are pretty terrible. Again, the steering's pretty terrible as well. It seems to suffer from the same problems as the Deveste 8. It just has terrible understeer. So yeah, that's the problem. It's just the handling is quite. It feels old if that makes sense. It feels like the older style of DLCs. Like the newer DLC cars have a kind of an odd feel to them, a different feel. And this feels old in terms of the older physics. I know I did crash once, but you saw how little difference that made. So they're very similar type of cars for the money though. The XA21, the X80 is a much more expensive car and isn't much difference in terms of performance either. So it goes to show that this Deveste 8 is quite good in value in terms of like the futuristic style supercars. But I think what we should do is test it against the Wagner and the XA21 just to get two more different comparisons, and then we can sort of build our like our comparisons really in terms of value, because all of these cars are more expensive apart from the Wagner. The Wagner is a car that's only 1.1 million compared to 1.7 million. So you save yourself 600k roundabouts, and let's just see what car turns up first of all. So there's the Wagner, another futuristic supercar. We could try against the Apollo as well, the Gunpowder Apollo thing, i.e. the Arrow, whatever it's called. I'm not quite sure what it's called in this game, can't remember. But I can't remember that being a particularly fast car. I think this looks better and sounds better than the Deveste 8 and the X80 Proto. This is one of my favourite cars, this one. Whoa, okay. The front end grip was really good in that corner. It was really good, but then the back end just kicked itself out, and that killed it then. But the handling is so much better. I think in terms of performance, I'm not quite sure whether in the past I have tuned this up, so that may have ruined this comparison a little bit, but I didn't do any turbo upgrades or anything. I literally just did transmission and engine from my memory. I don't know whether I detuned it or not. So there's a 1:09. So it's around the same sort of time as a Deveste 8, which again, even if this is tuned, it's just as quick. So the Deveste 8 is not tuned. If this is tuned, it's obviously not as good. But if it isn't, then obviously it's around about the same sort of value in terms of its performance. So let's just test out the last car, which is the XA21. My chair just fell off. Part of my chair just fell off. That's not good. And right, so let's just test it against the XA21. As it's got four-wheel drive, it sounds good. It's one of the community's favourite cars, so we'll just give it a go. Let's have a look, see whether the Deveste 8 can stack up. So far, the Deveste 8 is a really good car. It's a good car in performance, but it's a hideous thing in terms of its looks. And out of the four we've tested today, the XA21 is my favourite. And I do like the Wagner a lot as well, but this is definitely the one that takes the biscuit. Wow, that handling is really good. It's guys got really good front end grip, which is what the Deveste 8 needs. It's just a bit more front end grip to keep it going around the corners a bit better. Look at that, that was really controlled. I know the back end did step out a bit there, which caused the drift, but it made the handling easier to control. Kind of went a little bit too slow around that corner, I thought. I just didn't want to hit one of them bins again. And again, look at the time. So the XA21, the Wagner and the Deveste 8 are very similar in terms of their performance. The XA21 is the most expensive, the Wagner's the cheapest, and the Deveste 8's in the middle. So really, that's quite interesting in terms of if you're going to use this in terms of racing and performance, because it really is very, very good value, this Deveste 8 by the looks of things. So in terms of, we won't bother looking at the X80 Proto because we crashed it, and that is 2.7 million, which is $1 million more than the Deveste 8. I know the XA21 is about 500,000 more, but it's a good car, and so is the Wagner. The Wagner's a really good car. At the time when that came out, that was a very, very good value for money car, as it was like an unusual, futuristic sort of style supercar, and it was really quick. As you can see by the Deveste 8, it's the same sort of thing. The value for it is, of course, 600 grand more expensive than the Wagner, but it's around the same sort of performance. So in the way, the Wagner is a better car in terms of its value for money, but the Deveste 8 in terms of drag racing is really, really good. I thought when driving around in the town, that was really quick. You saw even the map wasn't loading properly because I was going so fast, and this car wasn't even tuned. Whether that was just something because the game was getting all confused because there's a lot going on, I'm not quite sure. But in terms of, it's just a very quick car in acceleration, and top speed, I can imagine is going to be very, very good as well. The only thing it does struggle with is the handling, and of course there's that texture glitch where the rear end of the car's nipping through the ground, which is kind of irritating to look at every now and again. But it's just the front end grip that lets this car down so much. I'm turning around the corner, you see, it doesn't steer properly. It has a very, it's like it's got no front end grip at all, and it just understeers badly. It doesn't oversteer that often, but if you go over too many bumps and you go around a corner a bit too quickly, then obviously it'll bite you and you'll start to drift. But the grip itself is actually really, really good. Again, really, it's your choice whether you want to buy this thing or not, but I would say if you like the way it looks, then yes, I would buy it. But if you don't like the way it looks, I don't, personally. I think it's a bit of an ugly duckling, if you could say that. And in terms of its value for money, it's really good. I just can't believe it's only 1.7 million. I was expecting it to be like over in the 2 millions for this. So in a way, it's quite good value. Even though I know the Wagner is about the same sort of performance for 600k less, but I don't think it will stack up to the acceleration and street usage of this. When you're around about in the free roam, this car is going to be the one that would be the one to have. Customization wise, I think the customization in this is a little bit lame. The way I think there could have been other things you could change, like the bonnet and maybe the engine bay bits, and maybe the couple of bits maybe could be improved. But the customization of the Wagner is not perfect either. There's not a lot of customization with that. The XA21 is full of customization. I think that's again why the value of it is so high, because it sounds amazing, it looks amazing, and it's got lots of customization options. So I can imagine that's the reason why. Anyway, there we go. There's the Deveste 8, the first ever Principe manufactured car in GTA 5 Online. So hopefully you enjoyed this video today. Hopefully you found it reasonably helpful, and hopefully I'll see you in another video. Bye!